In the waning years of the 17th century, Sweden stood tall. It was a kingdom forged in the fires of war. Its armies, renowned for their discipline and ferocity, had carved out an empire. This dominion spanned the Baltic Sea, a testament to Swedish might. From frozen Finland to the shores of Germany, the blue and yellow standard flew high. Sweden's power rested on the strength of its arms. Its navy, a fearsome force, ruled the waves. Its soldiers, hardened by years of campaigning, were unmatched in battle. Yet, beneath this veneer of invincibility, cracks were beginning to show. The empire was vast, its borders difficult to defend. Jealous neighbors, sensing an opportunity, began to circle. Among them was a resurgent Russia, led by the ambitious Tsar Peter I. The stage was set for a clash of titans, a conflict that would decide the fate of Northern Europe. The Great Northern War, a conflict that would engulf the Baltic region for over 2 decades, began in 1700. A coalition of Denmark, Norway, Saxony and Russia, sensing Swedish vulnerability, declared war. Their aim was to dismantle the Swedish Empire and seize its territories. Sweden, under the rule of the young and untested King Charles XIV, found itself facing a formidable alliance. Charles, though just 18 years of age, possessed a keen military mind and an unyielding determination. He would need all his cunning and courage to weather the storm that was about to break. The early months of the war saw a series of Swedish successes. Charles, displaying remarkable strategic acumen, launched a lightning strike against Denmark. The Danish king, caught off guard, was forced to sue for peace, leaving Russia and Saxony as the primary threats. Confident after his victory over Denmark, Charles turned his attention eastward. A Russian army, vastly outnumbering his own, was laying siege to the Swedish fortress of Narva in Estonia. Undeterred by the odds, Charles marched to relieve the beleaguered garrison. The Swedish king was a master of speed and maneuver. He knew that his only chance of victory lay in exploiting the element of surprise. His army, though smaller, was composed of seasoned veterans, well-equipped and highly mobile. In November of 1700, Charles and his army reached the outskirts of Narva. The Russian camp, sprawling and disorganized, lay before them. A heavy snowstorm, a common occurrence in the Baltic winter, had descended upon the region, shrouding the battlefield in a white veil. The Russian army, under the command of Tsar Peter I, had been besieging Narva for several weeks. The fortress, situated on the strategically important Narva River, was a vital link in Sweden's defences. Its capture would grant the Russians a foothold in the Baltic provinces. The siege, however, had not gone well for the Russians. Their artillery, though numerous, was poorly handled. Their supply lines were stretched thin, and their morale, sapped by the harsh winter conditions and the stubborn Swedish resistance, was low. Tsar Peter, impatient with the slow progress of the siege, had departed for the south just days before the Swedish arrival. He left behind an army that was ill-prepared for the onslaught that was about to befall it. Section 5. The Blizzard's Fury. On the morning of November 30th, 1700, the Swedish army, concealed by the swirling snow, launched its attack. The blizzard, far from hindering their advance, worked to their advantage. It blinded the Russian sentries and masked the Swedish movements. The Swedish assault, spearheaded by their fearsome infantry, caught the Russians completely by surprise. The Russian lines, already demoralized by the storm and the prolonged siege, crumbled under the ferocity of the Swedish onslaught. The Swedish soldiers, driven by a combination of discipline and fury, tore through the Russian ranks. The snow-covered battlefield was soon transformed into a scene of carnage. The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder and the cries of the wounded. Section 6. The Swedish Hammer. The Battle of Narva was essentially over in a matter of hours. The Swedish army, fighting with precision and ferocity, had shattered the Russian forces. The blizzard, which had initially concealed their approach, now worked against the fleeing Russians, hindering their escape. Charles, displaying the same tactical brilliance that would later earn him the moniker the Lion of the North, had divided his forces into two columns. These columns, advancing under the cover of the storm, smashed through the Russian lines, effectively encircling the larger enemy force. The Russian army, lacking leadership and coordination, disintegrated into a panicked rout. Thousands were cut down as they attempted to flee across the Narva River, the bridge collapsing under the weight of the desperate mob. The victory was a testament to Swedish military prowess and the brilliance of their young king. Section 7. A costly triumph. By nightfall, the Swedes were victorious. The Russian army had been routed, leaving behind thousands of dead and wounded. The victory at Narva sent shockwaves throughout Europe. The Swedish army, outnumbered and facing a coalition of enemies, had achieved the seemingly impossible. However, the victory came at a price. The Swedish army, though victorious, had also sustained casualties. The harsh conditions and the ferocity of the fighting had taken their toll. More importantly, the victory at Narva, though a stunning military achievement, proved to be a strategic distraction for Charles XII. Instead of focusing on consolidating his gains and securing Sweden's borders, Charles became fixated on the complete destruction of Russia. This obsession would lead him on a costly and ultimately futile campaign deep into Russian territory, culminating in the disastrous Battle of Poltava in 1709. Section 8. Echoes of Narva. The Battle of Narva, though a decisive Swedish victory, serves as a potent reminder of the fickle nature of war. It highlights the importance of sound strategy, not just tactical brilliance, in achieving lasting victory. It also underscores the enduring relevance of morale and logistics in warfare. The echoes of Narva can be seen in modern conflicts, such as the ongoing war in Ukraine. Like the Swedish forces at Narva, the Ukrainian military has demonstrated remarkable resilience and tactical ingenuity against a numerically superior foe. The conflict in Ukraine, much like the Great Northern War, underscores the importance of international alliances and the impact of logistical support in determining the outcome of wars. It serves as a stark reminder that victory on the battlefield is but one element in a much larger and more complex equation. Section 9. The Indomitable Spirit. The story of Narva is ultimately a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human will. The Swedish soldiers who fought on that frozen battlefield, facing overwhelming odds, demonstrated extraordinary courage and discipline. Their victory, though fleeting in the grand scheme of the Great Northern War, serves as an enduring symbol of what can be achieved with determination and resolve. The lessons of Narva resonate even today, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, even when the odds seem insurmountable, the human spirit, when forged by a just cause and fueled by unwavering belief, can overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles.